Yeah, no, that and the sport coaches, because you're specifically talking about something that us strength and conditioning and high performance managers talk about, where it's, if you look at the whole pie, right, of an athlete, and we say, right, there's 4 of them, so you cut it in half, cut each half, so you have your quarters of a pie. It's physical, it's psychological, it's technical, and it's tactical. And
Yeah.
how, without, again, there's difference. We don't want to just stay in our lane, but we're not the expert in each domain. And there's ebbs and flows from one area to the other. When you talked about the injury recovery cycle, there's the transition from, physio to, strength and conditioning to sport coach back in that continuum. Where do you see that continue? Because again, there's the technical, the tactical, all right, position coaches, physical, the sport coach, or it's a strength and conditioning coach. That mental, that psychological coactive, how can that get trained better? Like, is this answer to simply hire sports psychiatrists? Like, how can that get better in sport? Because the teams that I hear about in American football or in, rugby or soccer overseas, they're the ones that truly have harnessed it, and they have been able to find an expert. Who are those experts? What is it? How does it get better in sport?
And also, before you answer that, I just want to have a go. Is it, even if it's not just precisely professionals, does it have to do with relationships?
100%. 100%. So in Fernando, you got
answer the question. On your face, Justin.
Wow.
So look, again, this is very much my opinion, and some of my colleagues would disagree with me, I'm sure. But I'm talking from personal experience, and I'm talking from research and working with people in the injury cycle. My opinion about psychologists in sports teams specifically, and working with sports people, is that we should be the ones supporting the players through those 4 cycles of coming back. So I can't remember exactly which ones you said, but from physiotherapy, or from medical to physiotherapy to strength and conditioning to back to the readiness to play, basically physical readiness to play. I see the psychologist as somebody who provides support for that player across all 4 levels, going back into performance. But from a personal perspective, a therapeutic perspective, there needs to be some sort of relationship that's built with these players, that they can come and have a bitch about something. Well, yeah, I mean,
you're right. Yeah, you're 100% right.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's useful for you or you've heard it before, but for example, at my current job, we have something called a well-being group, which is led by staff, and is basically a lot of people that wants to join, but has a physio, has a doctor. I'm the S&C. Of course, it has the team psychologist, and it has someone that does player well-being. So whoever helps them, like, sort the house out or car, whatever. And what we do is we just bring names up of people that we think are struggling, will struggle, or anything, not necessarily injured ones, but there's a lot of injured ones. And then we just build up a case, and there's someone who leads it, as in like the lead engagement person, whoever, like, who does he trust more, or who does he talk more with? And then we just sort of like have a plan. All right, we're just trying to make him engage more. So if it's a language thing, like, he trusts you, even though I might not be doing his physical rehab or have nothing to do with him. I just engage with him like in the day, just because he talks to me, for example. And then, you see more things, and then you share. So it's kind of like, it's the staff version of your group.
Exactly, and it works. Psychotherapy, that's really what it is. And I'm not saying that these guys should go into full psychotherapy. I mean, you get players who don't, who won't need that and whatnot. The recovery mastery group and comeback is very specifically designed. You're dealing with highly functioning individuals. You're not dealing with people who are, becoming dysfunctional through psychopathology. I mean, there are players who really can become mentally distressed and go into depression, etc. But that's something different. I'm talking, generally speaking, somebody who goes through an injury, process and a recovery process, and they go through the normal ebbs and flows of, anxiety and stress and and coming back. It's difficult to come back from an injury. It's not easy, you know, especially at the professional level and whatnot. The person is confronted with so much stuff. But in that, there are opportunities, you know, and there within, you know, within that, I think if you can get somebody with more skills, psychotherapeutic and psychological skills, to be able to unearth some of these opportunities and get the person who you're working with to see in very specific ways what opportunities are actually lying there in that tragedy. I mean, not to be overly exaggerating, but for a lot of people, it is a tragedy. But to be able to get to them to see that, you know, it does take some skill. And I think that's really where, you know, psychologists should be actually working in these team environments and with professional players, is that psychotherapeutic support, providing a space for them to feel supported, where they can come and have a bitch, they can come and talk about themselves, they can talk about others in an environment where they know it's confidential, there's nothing that's going to get back to coaches, there's nothing that's going to get back to other players, etc., and figure themselves out. You know, we organize ourselves through talking and through our relationships. And that's what you were saying earlier, Fernando, that a huge part of the injury recovery process is relationships. You know, the literature is incredibly clear on this. It's very, very clear that sports people who are injured, who feel connected to others, heal better and perform better when they're back. I mean, that's researched. I've got the many papers that have looked at that phenomenon. And
keep up.
And here within is where a skilled psychologist or somebody who actually understands these relationship dynamics can harness this phenomenon and actually protect players, get them to heal better, and to protect them from re-injury as well.
My question was going to be for you specifically, and whether it was with your original qualitative study on the recovery mastery or with the comeback, or whatever you would recommend. Do you focus more past, present, future as you help move through that continuum with your, patients?
So the recovery mastery group that I ran was very much a present focused experience. So, the whole idea was, it was based on, there was a guy called Irvin Yalom, who's an existential psychotherapist who is the kind of godfather of group psychotherapy. He came up with the group psychotherapy Bible. If you want to know anything about group psychotherapy, you go to, he's still alive, by the way. And his one of his principles is to be very present focused. That's what's so cool about group therapy, is that the therapist is there just as a kind of mediator. He's a holder of space, or she's a holder of space, but it's the actual relationships that are formed between the participants in the present moment that's healing in itself. And that's something I've noticed running these groups with rugby players as well. We're all human beings, that we're really a professional sportsman, celebrity, someone just battling at work. We all have these, we share similar attributes and wants and needs, etc. And something I really noticed was when the guys start speaking, the group will start off quite sort of piecemeal. I'd say, Justin, how are you doing? How, what happened this week? And you say, yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. And this happened. And, I fed my dog, and I went there, and I went out, and so, whatever it is. And then I'll go to Fernando, and how was your weekend? But something will happen where someone will bring something up that's quite universal. And then somebody will ask that other person what happened, etc. And I remember the one.
Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Why don't you celebrate by watching more videos just like it? You can also help us on our quest to placate the algorithm gods by liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you.